Friends, welcome back to the Friday 5. I'm your host, Cameron Ripley. This is episode 14, and I'm so excited you tuned in. For those of you that are new to the show, we run a digital marketing for nonprofits Facebook group. When new members, when nonprofit leaders from around the world join this group, we ask them, what is your biggest digital marketing challenge? And every single Friday, we take 5 minutes and we answer as many of those questions, provide as many recommendations as fast as possible. So I am here. I tore my hamstring last night, or pulled it in a soccer game, but nonetheless, I didn't want to let you down, and I'm not going to limp into this. I'm going to hit these challenges as best and to my fullest ability. So without further ado, let's dive into the Friday 5. I'm going to start the timer, and let's go. First biggest digital marketing challenge comes from Joe. Development and outreach coordinator at the Wellness in the Schools. And biggest challenge is, again, converting digital social presence into donations. And I feel this, Joe. I checked out your site and social prior to filming this, and so much is going well. Your site looks good, decent following, and my gut is you really need to just take a moment, take a step back, and think through what is that full digital marketing funnel for you. And think about who is the audience that follows you on social, and what are those steps to work through that funnel, right? Like a general marketing funnel looks like, we want to drive visitors or social followers, right? And then we want to convert them into a subscriber or showing some sort of additional interest in what you stand for. From there, we can really earn the right? Like, so that could be a subscriber on email, a social media follower now. And then at that point, we've earned the right to just share the story, share the impact. What do we need to share that resonates, that compels them to support, compels them to ultimately give? And then we hit step 4, which is really that first time investment, donation, and then how do we turn them into an advocate? How do we increase retention? How do we have them, be someone that represents our brand or recurring donor or whatever that kind of bigger ask is, long-term ask is for you. So I know that was high level. We have some more content on our funnel, but think about that and really put yourself in your audience shoes. That will naturally create hopefully some breakthroughs in your messaging, because all these asks, when you do ask, it needs to be tangible, it needs to be transparent. And the last key point here is I'm a big advocate on running sprints. So if you're going to run some sort of new campaign, there's this book called Sprint by the Google Ventures team, and they really pushed creating kind of this theme or ask or something like a minimal viable product, and then bringing in 5 potential donors, and interviewing them on what they actually think. And that can often solve upwards of 80% of your future messaging problems and just make your life easier, so you can kind of increase that conversion rate from supporter to actual donor. All right, long answer, but I hope it helps, Joe. Next, we have Christian from the Buffalo Museum of Science, and this question is different. It stood out to me. Biggest challenge here is our museum is nestled in a diverse neighborhood, and many of our posts and content end up becoming comment wars, and it dissolves even at times into hate speech. And I saw this is a challenge we've never really seen yet. And I tried to follow you on social and see if I could see more examples. I was having a hard time, so if you actually want to ping us about it, you can. But nonetheless, I just wanted to kind of talk about this because you're not alone. And, at the end of the day, like anything really over the line and hurtful, you can delete, you can moderate, right? However, I did want to say that there's times when we follow people and there's dissent, and hopefully in a non-hateful way, and these comments can be, one, really good for your algorithm and really increase reach and awareness and impressions. So naturally, when you have comments, that's a good thing when they're not bad, right? But I I've also seen organizations kind of have that, but then take the high road as an organization, make sure they're addressing everything, which, increases engagement, and that can work too. So it's really going to be ultimately up to your gut call. I do my best to not delete comments, and yet, you're going to have to trust your gut and curate the commentary. But at the end of the day, I would almost address that. If you need to block individuals, you can. But it's not a bad thing, right? It's like no press is bad press. It's like no comment is necessarily a bad comment when we can moderate it or delete it or deal with it. Okay, next is from Rachel, who says, finding time to do all the things. So Rachel's with Tribe 12. Finding time to do all the things. For now, I'd like to learn to utilize Facebook Pixel and better utilize Facebook ads. And, I get that. It can feel overwhelming. Facebook can certainly be a tremendous channel for you. And honestly, you just got to become a practitioner. You got to get passionate about it. You got to be committed to learning. And yet you're going to have a leg up. This channel is going to produce. It's just the beginning for many nonprofits in the channel. And for those that can do it well, you're going to have a competitive advantage. So become a practitioner. Also check out the Facebook Blueprint. This is Facebook's own actual academy. It can be a great resource to accelerate your learning. There's tons of content out there, but just roll up your sleeves and dive in and just be an advocate for the channel so your leadership team continues to support it and understands, we're using it both for brand, but as well as conversion at times as well, and donations. I'm going to take one more. We got one more here. Two quick ones. We're going long today. So first is from Catherine. She just mentions storytelling. She's from the Iowa International Center. Biggest digital marketing challenge is storytelling. So important. Such a massive part of why people donate and give. There's a ton of frameworks out there. We've created some content that I'll link right here, hopefully. And in that, we've kind of Frankenstein frameworks that can help you really get into that storytelling mindset. There's tons of, TED Talks, everything like that. But just check it out, find your voice, find what works for you. But I also see you're a director of development. And the one thing I want to note here is every time you're pitching, whether it's a potential donor or even your friend, or you're just telling somebody what you do, that's an opportunity to test your own story and just seize every single one of those reps. Because, I think about the early days when I used to pitch Community Boost, and it was much rougher than it is today, but every single time I did it, it was a rep to get better. And then the last biggest challenge here is from Grace, a programming intern at the Samburu project. And biggest challenge here is just maximizing their Google AdWords grant. Grace, I won't take up too much of your time, but it sounds like you want to roll up your sleeves. We have recently launched our own Google Ad Grant Academy in beta. We would love feedback. I think it's incredibly high quality content, and I love to give you access. So if you want to shoot us an email, you can email me personally at Cameron@communityboost.org. We'll make sure you get taken care of and have access, and can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. All right, that's it for today. Be sure to share, be sure to follow, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you next Friday, hopefully, and I hope you have a rockin' weekend and an even better week. See you next time.